There's God's goodness in water we don't know about. We can't lay a hand on it. If God says this water in the fullness of its existence is able to wash away sin, I think that a saint looks at a baby get baptized, he sees sin get washed away. Just like, look at that. Sin washed away, just like dirt washed off. You know, it's very difficult for us. We struggle with doubt. We struggle with incomplete vision. But yet, there's this whole fullness about creation just shot through with God's love. Now, let's see where I've gotten now. Oh, yeah. So this ties into it too. Is that, everybody know, you ever heard of these people? Seraphim. There, okay. Seraphim, that's plural. The ayah makes it plural. A seraph would be one of them. And seraph means burn, to burn or burning. Now, the seraphim are the spiritual creatures that attend very closely to God the Father. And they are burning. And the reason they're burning is because they're so close to God, is that God's the energy, that raw, primal energy of love that just is constantly irradiating everything around them, that they are burning with that. But here's the question. Are they hurt by that burning? No. They don't hurt by that. That feels good to them to be able to bear all that burning of God's love. Feels good to seraphim because they're not decontent. They're not flawed by sin. That's the thing. See, about human beings, we kind of fear God's love. And even in the Bible, they do this. Let me see that little part in Malachi. I just love it. Are y'all bored?
Yeah, spell seraphim up there.
Okay, seraphim, S-E-R-A-P-H. Yes, seraph. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. This is the kind of thing that people say in the Bible.
P-H what?
I-am. Oh, seraphim. Yeah, P-H-I-M. If you just type in seraph in Google, it'll tell you.
You got to work on your penmanship.
I know. No, I'm about to die. I'm 57 years old. Don't count it. Nothing's going to get any better. Okay, now. So here's what Malachi, this is from Malachi's little prophecy. He says, "Lo, I am sending my messenger to prepare the way before me. Suddenly there will come to the temple the Lord whom you seek, the messenger of the covenant whom you desire. Yes, he is coming. But who can endure the day of his coming? Who can stand when he appears? He's like refiner's fire, or like fuller's lye. He will sit refining and purifying." And it's like saying, who can stand it? You're going to get burned clean, but who can stand up to that? And that's the thing, is that when we take the gift of love, here's a question. The kids always get this wrong. That's part of the fun. What's the opposite of love?
Indifference.
Ooh, y'all are good. Y'all are grown-ups. Okay, this is what I say in Sunday school. The opposite of love is sin. The opposite of love, failing to love and mediating and accepting God's part, having it coursing through you in your life. When you misuse love, that's sin. And then every misuse of love would be covered in that term. It doesn't matter what different things you have. So what happens is that if the whole universe is good, it's soaking wet with God's goodness, it's made out of God's goodness, it's inseparable from God's goodness. When human beings sin, it's like doing the worst thing you can imagine. I mean, it's like taking, I don't know, what's something really, really nice and precious? Like a little newborn baby and like throwing dog poo on him or something like that. I mean, it's just sin is so far out of alignment from what we've been given by God. And I think we underestimate sin all the time. I know I underestimate sin. One of the things that I began to realize as I got older, I was a real smart ass when I was a kid, and I'd always say mean things to people because other people thought that was funny. And then I got to be older and realized the damage that I'd done to these people. And I thought, you couldn't go out and find all those people and apologize enough for the unkind things you said to them. And again, that idea about this sin just rippling out far beyond what I could imagine. And I thought, and I still think this today, is that if I were able to perceive at one time, at one instant, the effect of all the sins I've committed, would probably strike me dead. I probably wouldn't be able to bear it. I would just drop dead from the horror of how terrible it's been for me to live out of alignment with the natural goodness of the universe. And now that gets us to, let's see, where are we? Got that, done that. Ooh, stop 15 minutes, that might be enough. I guess we'll see. Okay, here's the other thing, is we have these two things, energy, and what energy is good for. Energy is not good for anything by itself, right? The only thing energy is good for is the ability to do work. The energy doesn't do any work, it's not worth anything. Got 10 gallons of gas, you never use it, ain't worth nothing. Okay? Now, so in this case, the same thing is true about the energy of love, is that it's got to work too for it to matter. Okay, so in this case, it's love work. In other words, for the love that you've been given, for the love that we've been made out of, for that love to matter, it has to become the living work of love, which is why Jesus always would say, love your neighbor, love God with your whole heart. You know, love your enemies. And it's like, yeah, you know, that's the way it was, right? Every week I'm hearing something at church about loving somebody or loving something, or what's his name, the squirrel petter? What's his name? St. Francis, the squirrel petter, yeah. You know, love, it's like the Beatles, love, and so it's kind of sappy stuff. And then after I got married and I had a child, it's like, man, it was like, love was like this raw, unbelievable force, this power. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't soft, it wasn't nice, it was like this raging love, this outward motion of work and concern for this other person. I mean, and at least in my case, my whole worldview was renovated by having children and having that gigantic bolt of parental love like burst out of me like that thing in Aliens. You know, it's like, boom! All this parental love came out. I was like, where did that come from? Why is this little child so absorbing? Why do you think about him 24/7 and all that? It was really just remarkable. So that's the thing about why Jesus is so big. And there's another thing about where we live in the upstate. Oh, works ain't worth nothing. No, I trust in Jesus Christ, my personal Lord and Savior. Doesn't matter what I do, go to heaven. Well, no. And in fact, Jesus was always interesting. Jesus was always very big on work. Jesus would say, I don't care what you believe. I don't care what you say. I want to see what you do. I want your love to work. Because if your love doesn't work, then you really don't love. That's how I tell. And that's how everybody else can tell. That's why Matthew 25, Jesus says, did you visit the sick? Did you clothe the naked? Did you, whatever it was, be nice to lonely people? No, didn't do that. Burn your butt off in hell for the rest of eternity. Not my problem. Okay, he doesn't say, did you accept me as your personal Lord and Savior? Even though you didn't do all those things? No, that's not the way it works. You didn't do them, straight to hell. Okay. Now the point is, though, as you know, Catholics know, I could never earn my way into heaven. I could never be so. I could never clothe so many naked people that would ever get me into heaven. But that's what we're showing. Yes, but I did the best with the love that you gave me to love, and I still love myself more than I love other people. Forgive me. Well, I can still get into heaven, I hope. Okay. Now, the other thing that continues to be unique about human beings that I can't stress enough, is that we are not like angels. We are not like seraphim. We have a body and a soul. And the funny thing is, has anybody ever seen that movie? What was it called? German movie. Wings of Desire. It was called Wings of Desire in English, and it was called Der Himmel über Berlin in German. It was like these guardian angels. It was a slow movie because, you know, it's kind of movies that people make when they're not in Hollywood. But the whole movie was about how all of us, in the movie, every one of you has a man or a woman standing behind you in a black overcoat, just quietly. And that's your guardian angel. And in the movie, you saw everybody's guardian angel. The guardian angel went around with them. Sometimes they would save them from somebody. They would help them find something in the book that they were looking for. Anyway, this one guardian angel, he fell in love with the young woman he was the guardian angel of. And he loved her so much, and he was envious of the humans because they could love with their bodies and their souls, and he could only love with his soul. And he was saying how I want to have a body, I want to love her in that complete human way. And his buddy, guardian angel, would say, well, you can't be serious. I mean, you die, you get sick, your feelings get hurt. Look at how these people just careen around from one miserable disaster to another. What are you thinking? And he said, I don't care, because they have more love available because they have a body that can love along with their soul. And eventually he became a human being and loved her in that way, you know, in that flawed existence. But just that gift, that dignity of having a body and having God's love compacted into matter. And he craved that and loved it. And so it's very, very sweet. It ties into the theme a little bit. Let me see what else we were talking about. Now I have to go to 1 John 1. Ooh, I'm probably not going to finish tonight. Well, what the heck, you know. John 1. I love this too because this ties into the dignity of the body, and that poor guardian angel wanted a body too. Not there. There. Here we go. This is from the first epistle of John. what was from the beginning, what we have heard, what we have seen with our eyes, what we looked upon, we touched with our hands, concerns the Logos, because the life was made visible. We've seen it and testified. And we proclaim to you the eternal life that was made with the Father, made visible to us. And now we have seen and heard and proclaimed to you that you may have fellowship with God our Father and with His Son Jesus Christ. We're writing so that our joy may be complete. Now this matters so much because John is like bursting out because this Logos thing that we thought was this philosophical thing in the sky or something, it's real. It's a man. We touched him. We kissed him. We heard him. We looked at him. Did I mention that we looked at him several times? We heard things come out of his mouth. It's unbelievable. He's telling you this Logos, this mediating thing, this concept, this rationale, this idea. It's a human being. Can you believe it? And I mean, well, a lot of people looked at Jesus and said, no, I don't believe that. So, you know, it didn't cure everybody's lack of faith. But you can imagine what a jump it would have been in that day for John to be saying, look at who this person is. It's not like anything you've ever thought before. You have to completely realign your whole concept of the universe and creation and how God intrudes into His creation ever since then. Because remember, the nice thing, oh, here we go. This is Sunday school. Okay. That's a human being's body, trust me. All right, I'm going to fix that a little bit. This is a gingerbread man. We draw them all the time. There you go. There's a person. There's a soul. Okay, now, they really don't. But by the way, this is really what the soul looks like. People always want to second guess me. Looks just like that. So that is a complete human being. Remember, though, we're very stunted having to draw this thing and that thing, so they're two separate things, like, you know, like I don't know what, like a banana and an apple. Who cares? Now, the great thing here's, tell me who these three people are. There's one of them. There's another one. There's another one. Who are they?
Wife and child.
No.
Father.
Say it. Yes, the Trinity, right? Three people. Two of them don't have bodies. One of them does have a body. Yes. Now, this is the importance of Jesus. Let's say that this is a human being, okay? Now, I'm a human being, and this is after the fall. Let's say I'm Moses. Here's Moses. There's an M. And we know he's Moses. Moses wants to have the fullest relationship with God that he can possibly have in spite of his sins and all that. He has that longing for that total God merge. And so, well, his soul can have a kind of relationship with God. The Holy Spirit's not showing up yet, okay? But his body wants to have a relationship with God too. It's just like that guardian angel. But I want the body. I want the body love too. I don't just want the soul love. And so everybody up until Jesus were frustrated because somehow in Eden, Adam and Eve had some physical connection to God that we don't understand because they heard him walking around in the garden and things like that. Then he was gone. It's like, oh, Lord, you're up in heaven. I pray, and my prayers just fizzle off into the ether. I have no idea if you're hearing me or anything. I'd really like it if you had a body. That would really help me out. So that's the wonder, is that when Jesus was made, now the body can love Jesus and the soul can love Jesus because he's made just like us to give us that the fullest access to him that God designed us for. God gave us a body and a soul. Why? To fully know God, to fully love God, fully experience God through both of those different aspects of the love that he created us out of. So that's why Jesus is such a big, that's Moses. Why Jesus is such a big deal because now, as they say, as we say in all the songs, you know, that's God and flesh made manifest, manifested, blah, 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 blah. The song is getting right at it. All that stuff about God that we have trouble with on the spiritual side, Jesus made it all manifest. And so it makes it easier for human beings. I always think how nice it would be. You know, when we get at the end of the second coming, we all get our bodies back, right? And all the good people. We go to the New Jerusalem, and all the bad people, they all join all the rest of them, burning their butts off in hell. Now, at that point, remember, we are living with God. We're living with Jesus, and Jesus is right there. Jesus has his body. Jesus has his soul. You get to walk up to him, like, put your arm around you and say, man, this is really so nice hanging out with you. I just can't think of anything better. Because we say, oh, time for Mass, see you in an hour. Okay, but you don't really do that, right? Because Jesus is right there. There's no more church. There's no more Mass. But that's that fulfillment. That's the thing that the Catholic Church gets at so well, and the thing that Catholic Church is so respectful of physical things. And I know a lot of people in the rational West especially have like rejected all that. Superstition, relic foolishness, mumbo jumbo, baloney. Well, no, that is 100% wrong, and the Catholic Church is 100% right. Is that the physical world is a particular way that God has set it up for us to access Him. And that's why the Catholic Church observes all these little sacraments that we have, because the Catholic Church is essentially saying, look, the whole of creation is sacramental. Don't quarrel if God wants to use some wine and some bread and some water and some oil and things like that to do something extra special. He's like J.K. Rowling. He can do whatever he wants with his creation. Now the problem is, are you going to have enough of the faith to believe it? That's where it gets to be kind of difficult. Okay, now we're down to about 3 minutes. Let's see. What do we have time for? Oh, I just love this. I need a volunteer. Oh, come on, don't be afraid. I'm not going to hit anybody. Let's see. I got that. I think I got some other business. This is just really too cool to pass up. Oh, no. I'm going to pick a volunteer. Let's see. Do I have all my pieces? I can't be trusted. There it is. Okay, wait a minute now. We're going to get to the... Because this is showing how important physical things are. Get up here, darling. You're my volunteer. Don't knock the thing. Don't knock the camera. Okay. All right, this is for you. Don't tell anybody what it is. Okay, go to the back. Go all the way back, all the way in the back, all the way into the hallway. Now, I was going to show you this. Actually, this is too big. Instead, keep going, all the way back. Okay, that's it. Now we can see you. Okay, now, this is more like the right size. This is the nucleus of a hydrogen atom. This is my model, okay? Hydrogen atom has 1 proton, I think. 1 proton, 1, what's that thing, neutron? And back there, what do you have back there? What is it? What is that thing? Yeah, what is that you're holding? Yeah, it's a BB, okay? Now, this is like a model of a hydrogen atom. This is the nucleus. That BB back there is the single electron flying around it. Now, if this were done to scale, it would be like I was standing in the middle of a stadium and she were outside the stadium. That would be that little BB whirling around this amount of matter. Okay, you can come up to the front now. Now, the reason I bring this up is to show that what we think of as matter, and there's so much of it, and it's so important, and it's so fabulous, is actually that even matter itself is mostly made out of nothing. I mean, you imagine a sphere the size of a stadium, and then the matter that composes that big chunk of an atom is like that. Virtually nothing. Now, why it's so fascinating is that we all know how important the physical world is. It's incredibly important. We live it. It's everywhere. It's very substantial. Just look at that, how substantial that blackboard is. Now, but the thing is there's almost nothing to it. And to me, this is showing that this is how much God dignifies stuff. Is this very little stuff, actually. Almost everything is on the energy side, but yet God comes to us through all this stuff and He makes us out of all this stuff. But when you look at it, it almost kind of just fizzles away into God's love. So it's like saying, yeah, we're a tiny little part of this. We don't matter, we're a tiny little part of the universe. Yeah, but that makes the point. Yeah, matter is just a tiny part of all of the energy of God's creation, but the thing is the fact that it's so small is a way of God saying, see, that's not what's important about it. It's the same thing about we're made out of bodies. Yeah, we're flawed and we're all this stuff, but the thing is God has dignified us, and even though we're just tiny little flecks of stuff whirling around, is that we're still like the most important thing that God has created, the most important thing on the planet. And now, it's 7:30, so we all have to go home. So that's it for tonight. And then next week, I'm going to start on talking about how God's spousal relationship with His people, which we've already seen started off with God setting up a spousal relationship for human beings to create more human beings, how that theme of spousal relationship goes all the way from Genesis all the way through Revelations, and it plays a critical role in salvation history. So that's it. You can go home. And if you got any criticisms, or you think, like I'm saying, I got about the first six weeks of class set out pretty well, but beyond that, it can kind of be anything. And if like this was too dry or too slow or too whatever it is, whatever you don't like about it, you can tell me what you don't like about it. And I guess that's it. See you next week.
Are we doing it 12?
I don't know. Oh, okay, that's just me. Okay, everybody's free to go at 7:30. You can leave it. Okay, you remember, didn't pay anything. You don't even have to stay for the whole class. Yeah, what I'm figuring is that until we get together and until we like kind of as a group or I have to go on vacation, not have to, but, you know, if my wife says, I'm gonna go to the beach on this weekend or this week, bang, well, I'm not gonna be here. But barring any interruption, I just expect to go just bang, 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 12 weeks all the way through. We might not, but I mean, as long as it doesn't matter to y'all, it doesn't matter to me because I'm not moving out of Greenville anyway.
How will we know